Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and whenever the hell you're listening to this, welcome to the Common Room Collab. I'm your host, Dan Anderson, alongside via the internet.
Now we're saying good evening, everyone.
Good evening, indeed. We have a lot to catch up on. We're a day late on this podcast. The work world, the PGL life is kind of just
Yeah, the 4th of July really got the best of us.
Yeah. Oh my God, I was driving home from work today, literally just like dying in my car. Just like if I took a nap for like 15 minutes, would people really care that much in traffic? They probably would.
Yeah.
But that's their own fault. It's funny. I never realized how bad drivers people are until you really do rush hour like multiple times a week, and people get just absolutely just stupidly aggressive.
Well, yeah, because they do it all the time, and for some reason they is really going to get them to work faster.
Yep, exactly. You know, when you like switch to the left lane to get one car ahead, that's going to save about 5 or 10 minutes.
The worst is when there's that one lane of traffic and all the lovely humans that just glide past you and then inevitably have to merge back in. It's like, where are you going?
Yep, exactly. They're trying to save 10 minutes or 10 seconds. They think 10 minutes. But you know, we could honestly do a 3-hour pod about how much I just hate people in general, especially when I'm in traffic.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be an easy one. But all right, so we'll start up. So we'll go over the itinerary for today. We're going to talk about the Celtics, their big new free agent signing out of the great Mormon state of Utah, how he will impact the Celts. And the question is Danny done? Will we have another trade on the horizon? Also talk about a certain Celtics rookie, Jason Tatum, who has absolutely been ridiculous in a very small sample size, but still showing a lot of promise. After that, we'll go into stoppage time, talk about the Confederations Cup final between Germany and Chile. Very, very exciting final. And then finally, a little transfer update. Arsenal gets their man, possibly a Manchester United legend, going to Everton and more. So, yeah, we'll start it off, though, with some Red Sox discussion. So before last night, in the 8-2 just romping of the Boston Red Sox that I totally forgot happened until Matt told me about 3 minutes ago. The Red Sox had won 8 in a row or 7 in a row, I think. And then we can double check that.
Yep.
And then they had an 8-game standing swing with the Yankees where they were down. They were 5 games behind. Now all of a sudden they're 3 up, just like that in a 2-week span. So, I mean, obviously the Sox caught fire at the right time, and then the Yankees just started sucking at the right time. So, heading into the All-Star break, Matt, how do you feel about this AL East matchup?
You know, I feel a lot better about it now than I did a few days ago. I think a function of that is the streak we've been on, but you're starting to see the Yankees fold a little bit. And
Yep.
I still don't have great confidence in what the Red Sox are doing right now. But I do like that the Yankees are finally starting to show the team that everybody thought they were going to be coming into this year, which is, you know, young and inexperienced, and certain pieces just aren't working as well as they should at this age.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what they've got. I mean, they're the baby bombers, right? Yeah, if you look at Aaron
incredibly
Judge,
young team.
Yeah, because I'm thinking Aaron Judge. Obviously, he's a marquee name in the league, not just for the Yankees. Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, Clint Frazier, just all these young guys who've never played, 162 games in a 6-month span. So, after a while, it's just got to start catching up with you. I mean, Judge has yet to slow down, but that's beside the point.
And I mean, it's fine if Judge is the core of your lineup and he's still hitting, but people still need to be on base for him.
Yep, exactly.
And I say that, but then you're still looking at Frazier, who's a top 5 prospect. You're looking at Didi Gregorius, who almost made the All-Star team.
Yep.
Sanchez will keep hitting. They're anticipating maybe getting Greg Bird back eventually, but it doesn't seem to matter to them right now. They just got Jacoby Ellsbury back to go along with Brett Gardner.
Okay, so that outfield is now kind of back to full strength, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, Ellsbury, Judge, and Gardner's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny to think Jacoby Ellsbury is now kind of an old man.
Oh,
he's starting at 32, 33, I think.
Still running a little bit, but definitely showing some signs of age.
Yep. But I mean, hey, I was definitely not going to pay him the $30 million a year he wanted 3 or 4 years ago. So the Yankees can definitely still have him. So then the Red Sox just on this crazy hot streak. I mean, even we've kind of been insulting the pitching and the starting pitchers a lot. Drew Pomeranz has looked passable. I mean, he's sitting at around a little over a 3 ERA.
It's been better than passable.
Yeah.
In a league environment where the league average ERA is I think over 4. A 3 looks like stellar.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to what Drew Pomerantz was doing as well. And I think it's one of those things where I'm kind of wondering, will people ever actually like Drew Pomerantz if from right now till the end of his contract?
Not.
Yeah, that's the thing. If he were to just pitch, just like we'll give it not Cy Young worthy, but like until the end of his contract is like a slightly above 3 guy. You know, he's getting you 15 to 20 wins a year. I still think he was off to such a horrible start in his Sox career. There's no way anyone would ever like him, but I've kind of liked him. I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. Just gotta change my Fangraphs qualifications here. Drew Pomerantz is the second best pitcher on the Red Sox with a WAR of 1.7 and ERA of 3.6, carrying over a batter per 9. I mean, he looked pretty stellar, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, he's honestly for a staff. Well, you have Chris Sale. We don't have to talk about him. He's fantastic.
Sale's otherworldly. He's one of the best players in baseball right now.
Oh, what? Sorry.
I said Sale's been otherworldly.
He has. It's unbelievable.
He's the top 3 pitcher in baseball right now. He's firmly behind Kershaw and Scherzer, but he's right there.
Yeah. But I mean, it's Kershaw and Scherzer. I mean, that's some pretty hefty company to be with. But exactly. Sale's fantastic, going for that 12th win tonight. Probably the All-Star game started. We could go over when we get to the All-Star segment in this. We can talk about that a little more. Sale's just been phenomenal. Price coming off that elbow injury, he pitched well the other night. But still, you can never be totally certain with him.
Plus, the problem with Price is he's having all these finger problems. He hasn't been able to actually finish games.
Yeah, because he went 6+ the other night with, I think,
which is great. Yeah. It's significantly more than we've seen him go. But the thing with finger problems, blisters, cracked nails, etc., those just tend to last. Especially because you're not resting him. It's already been on the DL for most of the season. You're going to run him out there. I mean, you're in a race for the AL East. You got to throw him.
Yeah, and you're also paying him $30 million a year. You don't want that asset just sitting on the bench. Well, that's the funny thing when it comes with like finger injuries and stuff like that. It's really, or not finger, like nail injuries. It's like there's really no timetable for that. Do you take like some of those hair growth, nail growth supplements and just hope eventually it'll go away after a couple of weeks?
I mean, looking at it, the blister finger problems are a league-wide epidemic at this point. I mean, you have guys like Rich Hill, former Red Sox great, who has just spent weeks on the disabled list for the Dodgers last year and this year with the blister problem. You've had Marco Estrada with blister issues. You've had, I think Verlander's complained about it, blisters. Marco Estrada's had blisters. I think I just said that one. But, I mean, all these guys just can't stay pitching with any longevity because their fingers just can't hold up.
Yeah, and it's funny because I remember the first time I ever really heard about this in depth is when we acquired Josh Beckett back in 2007, and they said that was one thing is his durability. Could he actually like with his blisters, would he make it through the season? And I remember thinking like, oh, blisters, are you kidding me? But that stuff's painful. You can't get a proper grip on the ball. You can't throw with the same effort you can, and all of a sudden, but there's no timetable to come back from that.
Right. Well, grip is one thing, but it's in this way that we analyze pitching. It's spin rate. And if you're throwing curveballs and have no ability to rotate the ball, that ball's just going to float up there.
Yep. And then it's just going to be taken into the bleacher seats.
Yeah, if you're throwing curveballs and sliders and splitters and God knows what else, yes, grip is vitally important so that you get the right rotation off the ball. But you need to make the ball move. And if you're not getting that high impact spin, then like you said, it's just going to end up in the bleachers.
Yeah, which is really like it's a little scary, might not be the right word, but it's concerning with Price because he already has this injury, which frankly with the elbow, I feel like anytime I watch him pitch, there's a chance that elbow gets blown out, career over. Just it's scary. Then you add the blisters to that too, so it's just we need more reliable pitchers on this team. Considering then after him, well, Erod's been injured a lot. Porcello has looked pretty much as bad as he's been throughout his entire career. Probably he might be on the worst stretch of his entire career right now.
If I remember right, I was looking at his Fangraphs page the other day, and I believe you are correct that he is having the worst season of his career.
Well, like we were making the joke earlier today, talking about wiffle ball and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, we'll pitch to contact, stuff like that. Just don't be like Rick Porcello when every fly ball that gets put in the air goes over.
Okay, so let's break some things down here, and excuse me as I look because my screen is the other way.
Yep.
So he has a career high in K per 9 in a full season at 8.25.
Okay.
He's still averaging less than 2 walks per 9.
Okay, that's pretty good.
The problem comes in at the 11.4 hits per 9. That's about a hit and a half over his career average.
Yep.
And he's giving up over a 43% hard hit rate. Basically, boy's getting clocked.
Yeah, which it's just so strange because, and that's the thing is he won the Cy Young last year. That much is obvious, but he never appeared truly dominant out there. He'd just go out and pitch good games. But this year, it's funny because it just looks like he's completely lost out there.
All right, so I'll throw some more numbers at you. So pitch values are statistics that are cumulative. So whenever a positive result happens for a particular pitch, it gets thrown in there. So last year on the fastball, slider, and changeup, respectively, these are just numbers like for relative purposes. So 13, 8, and 10. Good,
Okay.
high positive numbers.
Yep.
Thus far this season, the fastball, -12. The slider, -0.2. And the changeup, -2.4. Just going along with it, the curveball is -1.8. The man does not have a plus pitch. He does not have a single pitch with a positive outcome on aggregate.
So that means basically whatever he throws, he's kind of screwed.
Yes. Anything.
In layman's
Which is why he has a 5 ERA. And I don't go to ERA, but in this case, like, it's telling.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot where it comes to the advanced metrics where you look into it, but like with Porcello, you just give it the eyeball test with like the ERA wins and losses, and you're like, okay, yeah, he sucks. And then you keep diving deeper, like, oh man, he sucks.
And I'm not asking him to be the Cy Young again. Nobody expected this. Nobody expected it last year. Nobody expects him to get 22 wins. But can you at least get an ERA in the fours, Rick? Like low fours?
Well, because that was the thing is like coming into this season, the thought was, all right, we have let's say right after we got Sale. We have Sale, we have Chris Sale, this is great. We have David Price, the $30 million man, Rick Porcello coming off of a Cy Young season. And it's funny, I remember hearing something earlier and someone asked, all right, so obviously we were excited going to this season because we had Chris Sale. And we didn't have much else, but what do you think the mood around Boston would have been if we didn't have Chris Sale? When David Price is injured, Rick Porcello is shitting the bed.
I mean, I say that it would have been terrible, but all that would have happened is just a truckload of rumors involving Rafael Devers and Sonny Gray and Yu Darvish and Jose Quintana.
Felix Hernandez, let's just throw him in there too.
No, God, no, you don't want Felix.
Oh God, you don't at all. How is he doing this year anyway? Now that I think about it,
I'll do a deep dive on 1 second.
Yeah, he was just a name that I hadn't heard in years, and it came up the other day. But just it would be rumor city. Moncada might. Who knows? Moncada might have been in the conversation of coming up this season too.
So 44 and 2/3 ERA 5.04, WHIP of 1.54.
Yikes!
That is how you say not good.
Nope, not at all.
And his advanced metrics said he should be worse. Yeah.
And he plays for Seattle too. Just makes it
one of those years.
It that much worse. One of those years. But I mean, so now going from pitching's had its struggles, but we've seen Pomeranz do well, we've seen Sale do well. Also, hilarious stat where I was watching the game the other night, and you know how ESPN has the ticker. No matter what your opinion on, what is your opinion also, Matt, on the now smaller screen to make room for the ticker and some useless stats?
I hate the nested ticker. Take it away. For the love of God, take it away. I came to watch a baseball game. I did not come to read all this information because I'm like when I'm watching a baseball game, I'm not just watching the game. I'm sitting on my laptop, on my phone, on my iPad, on my like car stereo, like whatever piece of technology is around me, I'm on it.
Yep, exactly.
Like I'm absorbing everything that's there anyway. Plus, I'm always looking at leaderboards, so I don't care about this stuff. And when like I don't care that Sale has 70 wins. Like it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, well, because that's
nice that Marcell Ozuna is leading the league in RBIs. Congratulations! Like,
yep. We're happy to know it. But like that's my thing is if this was like the early 2000s, if let's say it was even like let's say it was 2007 when people didn't have smartphones, this would be a great thing. This would be awesome because no one wants to sit at their desktop across the room, watch the game and look up stats. But now whatever we want to do today, I was bored at my desk at work, was listening to a podcast about soccer. It's about Jerome Boateng. I was like, wait, did he used to play for Manchester City? 3 seconds later, he did. Just total little soccer thing that'll come back later. But like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then I was watching the other night, and it was just like Mike Napoli came to play. It's like, Mike Napoli used to play for the Boston Red Sox. I'm like, really? Holy shit. Thank you so much for telling me that. I didn't know. I've only started watching today. I'm such a casual fucking fan.
My favorite thing, so I'm a stat head, like I own up to that 100%. My favorite one is when they get to the really obscure splits where they're like, you know, Jackie Bradley Jr. is hitting 2 for 48 against left-handers in Kansas City on a Thursday. It's like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me.
Just the night after he had chicken parm for dinner, just super specific.
Please tell me his breakfast regimen and if there's any changes to that, because I'm going to need to change my lineup.
Yeah, every time he forgets to put granola in his yogurt in the morning, he bats worse. And like, I do like the stats that they have just in the normal bar where they give you the stats, and then they might be like, oh, okay, so JBJ is, I don't know, 3 for 7 against Hugh Darvish in his career. Something like that, which I think, if we're being specific, he's 0 for 0 because that was the first time we faced Hugh Darvish in like 3 years. But beside the point. But I just think that's so like the one. Okay, so this will actually segue into our next topic. The one cool thing that I like about it is when he talks about new players like Sue Lin. Didn't know he was Taiwanese. That was very interesting to talk about or to learn about. But then final thing, when it goes like, oh, what's your favorite TV show? Who's their favorite musician? I'm like, I don't know.
Is
that's
this
kind of cool.
World Series, or do we pay them millions?
Exactly. It's like Brock Holt's favorite hobby, talking to girls. Like, we don't care. It's fine.
Is that actually his favorite hobby?
Oh no, that's a joke. Some kid from the Little League World Series like 4 years ago. That was his like whatchamacallit, his hobby. It was like the kid was like 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and the subtitles just like, oh yeah, kid's not good at the plate, but he knows how to live his life.
All right.
You know, good for him. But so anyway, moving on to the new Taiwanese superstar, future Hall of Famer, and future Red Sox great Sue Lin. After the debacle we've had with Pablo Sandoval, Devin Marrero, who now has improved and is hitting the ball pretty well, Brock Holt's vertigo, Sue Lin stepped in and has been, I'm going to just say it, he's been very solid.
Yes. Trying to pull this page up here in 1 second.
Yeah, so while you're pulling that up, I believe he's batting around 300. He's gotten hits in big situation. He had a triple. He had a 4-hit game or a 3-hit game. I mean,
correct. 333, 419, 481 triple slash. There's a 300 hitter in the minors for the Sea Dogs.
So Dombrowski just is like AAA the place where talent goes to die, because Dombrowski just doesn't get anyone from there. He just goes straight down to Portland.
Well, I mean, the AAA roster is just weirdly constructed because you have Rusney Castillo stuck down there.
Yep.
Who legitimately cannot go anywhere.
No, he can't. Oh, also, speaking... I'll let you go first.
Well, I was going to say, because you can't put Rusney on the active roster because then you owe him his money.
Yep.
Plus, you have the killer bees in the outfield, and Rusney would never see the light of day. Part 2, you can't trade Rusney because he's an awful, awful person to have on your tax cap. Like, the Red Sox have a massive penalty if they try to unload him, so he is perpetually stuck in AAA for the rest of forever.
So if we're bored one night and I just go, hey, Matt, you want what I want to do tonight? What? I want to see Rusney Castillo play. Well, I know exactly where to go.
He'll be there. 40 years from now, he'll be there.
So one very sad thing that happened was the mayor of Pawtucket, Alan Craig, gets released.
Yep.
The saddest story in MLB. He goes from like this guy who's well known in the NL for being a clutch hitter, a good hitter. Like, he's the guy who can get you 20 plus home runs, maybe even at his peak. People thought he could get 100 RBIs. Comes to Boston and sucks, and was perpetually in Pawtucket. I mean, the dude wasn't like staying at the Holiday Inn in Providence. The dude owned a home and had a mortgage. He knew he was going to be there for so long, and now he's, I don't know. I'm distraught. I never got to see Alan Craig in a Sox uniform live.
I mean, I don't even think he played that much in Pawtucket, which is like an astonishing thing for a man in his 30s to be in AAA and not getting regular reps. But I'm pretty sure they weren't playing him because the outfield's pretty good in AAA because they just have the logjam, and he wasn't going to start over Sam Travis when Travis was down there at first.
Yeah, and I mean, if I was looking too, he wasn't even playing that well. I think he was only hitting about 250 or even less than that. When if you're hitting 250 in the majors, it's like, oh, okay, we could go for better than that, but that's just in the minors after being a guy who some people thought could eventually be an all-star.
You are correct. 250 in 32 games for the Paw Sox.
So you
Sorry,
got to
47
wonder.
games.
So there's always Korea, there's always Japan, but does another team pick him up? I don't think so.
For a guy hitting 250 that's 32?
Yeah.
No, you'll let your 18-year-old hit 250 in the majors before you put a veteran on the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you'll let your 18-year-old hit 220 in the majors just to get him a little what you call it, taste of the big leagues, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, so poor Alan Craig, Johnny Peralta's down there now too, playing third.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Johnny. Well, there might actually be a place for Johnny pretty soon here.
Yeah. I mean, you honestly never know. I mean, because what Xander, we were just talking about this. So Xander Bogaerts goes down with an injury.
Yep. So it is 9 o'clock on Thursday night, and Xander left today's game after getting hit on the hand wrist area.
Fun.
Which is never good.
Nope.
Yeah, it's like the wrist just tends to be a lingering injury. If it requires surgery, it's a tough rehab, and when these guys come back, they're sapped of all their power. And granted,
Yeah.
Xander's not a huge power guy, but you still like to have the ability to get some force behind the ball, and the wrist injury just tends to be a real pain. Now, we have no idea what's going to happen to him. We have no idea how serious it is. It just could be a contusion, and he's back by the All-Star break. Like, you have no idea.
So, I mean, and right now we have, like we are saying, Sue Lin can handle the business at short. Devin Marrero can go to third. Marrero's been on a hot streak, but he's a guy who could fall off at any second. You see Johnny Peralta, a solid veteran, could make his way up to the bigs and fill in.
Well, you just said it. Like, it's guys that can handle it, but they're not guys you're going to win a playoff series with.
No, and that's been the big, and this has been more of basketball I've heard, but like, who are the guys, I'll translate this from who are the guys you want, like, taking that last shot in the NBA Finals. Who are the guys you want up when the game is on the line in an elimination game of the ALDS, CS, hell, even the wild card? Not Devin Marrero. If Devin Marrero's up,
right now it's Betts, it's Benny, and it might be Moreland. And depending on how Hanley feels, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Mitchie Two Bags has been phenomenal phenomenal for what we expected of him.
It also depends what kind of clutch you're looking for, because if you need home runs, like, your options are a little slimmer. If you need a double, we got a lot of double hitters. Whole team's double hitters.
Literally. Not a lot of home run hitters, but we can hit goddamn doubles. I heard this guy, David Ortiz, he might come out of retirement if we need him.
Thank you, Pedro Martinez, for that one.
Oh, man. Yeah, so we're starting... So we'll now cycle, and we're just mentioning the All-Stars since we don't have a ton of time tonight, unfortunately.
Wait, I need to drop one piece of knowledge on you.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, wins above replacement.
Yep.
To measure, baseline 0. Like, that is your average replacement player. Third base. Dodgers, great third baseman, Justin Turner. Theirs is worth 4.6 wins above replacement.
That was great. It's awesome.
Red Sox. Negative 0.4 wins above replacement. We could have put a freaking Scarecrow out there at third base and probably picked up about a half game.
Oh my God. I'll call up John Farrelton. I used to play third base back in the day. I was pretty damn good at the hot corner.
Red Sox third basemen are hitting 229.
Oh my God. I think it was actually Farrell, and he wasn't trying to throw shade at any of the third basemen, but like, I think he said something to the effect of like, literally anything, any production we get from third base is just icing on the cake at this point.
Literally anything. They're, by
anything.
wins created plus, the worst hitting position in the majors at third.
There it is. Oh, you gotta love the Red Sox.
Putrid.
And we still have Pablo for 2 more years, and we get to pay that fat sack of crap another $20 or $40 million.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh no, he's 3 years. I'm sorry. Hanley was 4 years, 80. Pablo was like 5 years.
You say it like that's still a good thing.
Oh, it's not. Well, I'm saying it's like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because that's an immovable. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. We thought Carl Crawford was an immovable contract. You never know. Some team might be stupid enough to do that. So anyway, we'll move on to the All-Star game. Quick All-Star game talk. How do we do this? We do Red Sox All-Stars and then quickly talk about general All-Star stuff. Red Sox, Betts, Sale, Kimbrel. Yeah, that's about it.
It's as easy as it gets. I mean, you have top 5 outfielder in the league, top 3 pitcher in the league, arguably league's second best, if not the best closer of the season.
Yeah,
It's been easy.
It's been phenomenal. Kimbrel's been lights out this whole year. Sale's been must-see TV. And Mookie, even though he hasn't done as well as he did last season, still I think he deserves it. He's having a good – he's batting about 290, 15 homers. Want to say somewhere between around 50 RBIs.
Well, the thing is, he is, by statistical measures, quote-unquote, slacked off this year compared to last year, and is still like a top 8 outfielder.
So, see, that makes me very, very happy for the future because we have Mookie Betts, which this is a conversation probably for December. I just want them 10 years, 300 mil. Just give it to him. My God, I need this kid in my life for a long ass time. So that's fun. Red Sox stuff. Xander, I don't think as of right now, Thursday, July 6th at 9:02. I don't think the final ballots are out.
They are actually. That got released this afternoon. Yeah,
okay.
Justin Turner was final vote for the National League and Mike Moustakas for the American League.
Okay, perfect. So Mike Moustakas, future Red Sox third baseman in about a month. That's a whole. We'll do that. That's a little taste, a little preview of the trade deadline special. Come at what do you think? 2 weeks we should do the trade deadline special of literally everything that could happen.
Something like that.
That'll be a good one.
We'll have a deepest of deep dives.
Yes. Well, because that's at the time.
This is not a kiddie pool. Like, this is going to require some lifeguard supervision.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking like the high dive down. Like it's going to be that deep where you can't just have 3 or 4 feet. Or you're going to break your fucking neck. So we'll do that in like 2 weeks because at that point there will be like the Celtics. The Celtics are done at this point. We got Hayward, which we'll talk about in a second. So we're just chilling with the Celtics. Nothing going on with soccer. The Patriots won't be doing anything, and we don't know anything about hockey. So it's going to be Red Sox, and I love it. So we'll move on, though, quickly. All-Star Game talk. So you were talking about Logan Morrison and Logan. Did I say Logan? Logan Morrison.
You said Gary Sanchez. Say Logan, yes.
Mr. Logan and Gary Sanchez. Morrison being a little upset that Sanchez is in the All-Star Game, considering also that Aaron Judge, his teammate, is in the All-Star, is in the Home Run Derby as well, and Morrison's not.
Well, Logan Morrison's gripe is that he has like 19 or 20 home runs and Sanchez has like 13, I think. But if you look over the past calendar year, they're about even. Also, Logan Morrison is just a mouthpiece that likes to talk. I mean, he's one of the most active players on Twitter. He's not really been that great for 8 years.
No.
Gets his first dose of being an actually good player and just starts spewing out like a volcano.
Yep.
Yeah. And like he's not that impressive. People want to see Gary Sanchez. People don't want to see a second coming of Logan Morrison.
Exactly. And it's tough for him. And I do feel for him because, this is probably his only chance to be in like a big stage like this. So you feel for him.
Yeah, because he didn't get voted in. He's not voted in as an All-Star.
It's just got to be the Derby or nothing. So you do feel for him in that regard. But at the same time, you have Gary Sanchez from the greatest franchise in baseball history, which I might need to throw up that I just said that about the Yankees. But Gary Sanchez, he has the Latino part down in Miami. That's another selling point. I don't think they really
it is. No, it absolutely is.
Into effect. But that's something you talk about too. He's a young catcher. He's a guy even I like to root for. So I think it makes sense. I do feel it for Morrison. But sometimes I don't think he understands. It's sometimes more than the stats.
Also, Logan Morrison's just a really unimpressive player. Like he's not fun to watch by any means. And Gary Sanchez is one of those guys who can hit the ball 450 feet on a regular basis, and people go ooh and ah, and they just love to watch it. So we get Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. The only time I'm not going to like him hit home runs is when we're playing them in the playoffs this year and next year.
All right, Can't wait. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull up the MLB Home Run Derby bracket. We're going to fill this out.
All right, let's see. Yeah, let me take a look. MLB. All right, so we can already pretty much I feel bad because I already know what my finals is. Like I think everyone else already does who knows, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. MLB.com.
Yes. Okay, so we have first round is the host Giancarlo Stanton against the aforementioned Gary Sanchez.
Yep.
I'll be taking Giancarlo.
Yeah, I think you got to go Giancarlo because he hits that ball pretty damn far.
He has like most of the farthest home runs of the Statcast era.
Yeah, but actually though, if there was a top 10, it's like Wilt Chamberlain in like highest scoring games of all time. In the top 10, he's got like 8 of them. So that makes sense. Moose and Miguel Sano. You know what? I need to look up Miguel Sano's stats because I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Miguel Sano has a very interesting line. He strikes out like 35 or 40% of the time, and I think is still batting 300.
Not bad.
But
Not bad
the
at
man
all.
can crush the ball. I'm taking Sano in this because this is his perfect like moment for beating balls into oblivion.
Yep. I
Um,
mean, yeah.
I'll
Moustakas, I
pull up.
don't. Yeah, that's the thing is I don't know a lot about Miguel Sano, unfortunately. But from what I know, Moustakas is a power hitter, but he doesn't strike me as the guy who can just clobber a ball.
I mean, you look at his frame, and you definitely believe that he can do it. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he is huge, dude.
He's not svelte.
Oh, I like that word. Yeah, I'll
Um,
take Sano on that one though.
yeah, let's see. Sano has 20 home runs in 78 games, hitting 277, hard hit rate of 48%.
It's pretty damn good. Oh, also speaking of home runs, hits, ratios, the other night, just because the Rangers, half that team strikes out like 50% of the time. I looked it up because I was, and this was as of 2 nights ago, so it could have changed a little bit by now. I looked up Joey Gallo.
Oh,
20 at that time, he had 21 home runs on the season, 47 hits. He almost half of his hits were home runs,
yeah.
which is just insane.
Yeah,
And then like 100 strikeouts.
I was gonna say the K rate for him, I think, is league worst. It's definitely up there.
Me. I just
so
couldn't stop laughing.
yeah, you're right. 21 home runs and 48 hits.
Yep, there it is. So he got
94.
Below the Mendoza line. You never like to see that.
And he's striking out 39% of the time.
Like you could throw him in the home run derby, but there's no guarantee to even make contact.
Well, he's another one that hits the ball just really far. I mean, he's like the poster child for this generation of hitters. Just strikes out so much, but just does like there's no reason not to strike out anymore.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Just go out there with your 45-degree angle uppercut swing and take some hacks.
Yep, exactly. Just go for it.
All right, moving on. So Aaron Judge against Justin Bour.
Justin Bour, I honestly don't know anything about Justin Bour, so I'm just gonna say Aaron Judge because that.
Do you know enough about Aaron Judge to make this call?
Yeah, like it's with Moose and Sano. I didn't know enough where I could definitely make a call here. I'm definitively putting my foot down, Aaron Judge, because that's gonna be redonkulous.
All right, so then you have Cody Bellinger against Charlie Blackmon. My thing here is I'm not convinced Charlie Blackmon's actually a power hitter.
Yeah, I'd never known him as I would. If we were talking a Colorado Rocky, I would put Arenado in here as the power hitter because he's a 40 home run dude.
I mean, I know Blackmon, I think, is leading the league in triples.
Hey, good for him. Yeah, but this
so
is the triple derby.
No, I'm taking Cody Bellinger because his swing is textbook for this. It's an uppercut. It's easy.
Yep.
He's got some longevity.
Did I? Oh, I meant to send you the sports science video. I couldn't find it, so I think they were waiting a couple days to put it up. On his swing, It's very, very interesting.
Oh, it's up.
It's beautiful because you texted me just like check out this video of Cody Bellinger's swing. I'm like, oh, okay, this rookie dude from LA, whatever. And I was like, holy mother of God!
It's powerful. Like he's very quick through the zone.
He is, and they even compared him a little bit to Ken Griffey Jr. at like the launch angle and stuff like that. His swing's not as pretty as Griffey's because, simply put, no one's swing will ever be.
It's not ugly though. By lefty swing standards, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah, it's choppy's not the right word, but it's like it's unorthodox but smooth as hell.
Well, it's because he waits so long to attack the ball, but by the time he gets to it, like there's some speed.
Yep. And then he just launches the hell out of that ball. So there, I'm going to go with Bellinger. Like you were saying, it works nicely.
So we'll stay on this side of the bracket. That would give you the matchup that everybody is dreaming about. Mr. Aaron Judge against Mr. Cody Bellinger.
Yep. I think you still got to give it to Judge simply by the fact that he can also, and I mean, granted, your average shouldn't matter in this because you're getting just tossed meatballs. But the way Judge, I mean, he's batting 330. He can just clobber the ball 500 plus feet. I think it's got to be Judge.
I'm taking Bellinger only for the reason that I think Judge is going to outplay himself. I think Judge is going to go for those tape measure shots and is going to be exhausted by round 2.
Okay, almost like, and this isn't totally a good comparison, but Josh Hamilton, how he hit like 27 in a round and then just tired
Yep.
himself out and lost to who? Justin Morneau, I think. I'm trying to
Something
remember.
like that. I think Bellinger's swing is just made for this.
Yeah, that works.
All right. So then you have Giancarlo Stanton against Miguel Sano.
Got to be Giancarlo. I think the dude is ridiculous.
I concur. So in your final, you'd have Aaron Judge against Giancarlo Stanton. In mine, I'd have Cody Bellinger against Giancarlo Stanton. Do we give it to the hometown man?
I want to give it to Judge, but at the same
Okay.
time, what you were talking about, I wouldn't be surprised. I think I'm going to go with the artist formerly known as Mike Stanton.
Yeah, I'm going to follow a similar train of thought here, and I don't think Cody Bellinger can last. And I think Giancarlo's just going to be riding high on the hometown crowd. It's not often the guy that wins the previous year is able to come back and host.
Yeah.
And I really think that adrenaline will push him through. So it's boring, but we'll take the 1 seed.
Yep. Yeah. You know, one of those things. I hate being 1 and 2 in the finals, but those, I mean, just simply their size and how much they can claw over the ball. I just think it would be good for baseball to have a home run derby between those two personally.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me, though.
All right. More All-Star Game things. Who you got winning this thing?
Winning this thing? Let me bring up the All-Star Game roster before I mean, of course, I will always want the AL to win so we can get home field advantage in the World Series. That goes without saying.
I'm not sure the AL pitching's very good.
No, that's what I was thinking. Because the NL, I mean, you have Kershaw, you have Scherzer. Who else am I forgetting?
Kershaw might not be able to throw, though, because he's projected to start Sunday.
Oh, okay, interesting. And I'm sure that's the last thing.
But what'll happen is they'll sub in Alex Wood, who is 10-0 with an ERA of like 1.8.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's fun.
Yep, that's a good one. Also, low-key Salvador Perez, like low-key maybe a Hall of Famer because the dude makes All-Star games every year.
Salvi is weird though because he's so good in the first half and absolutely dies in the second half. Like it's a career trend at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. He wants to make the All-Star game, then he just doesn't care after that. You know?
Yeah, he's 5-time All-Star right now.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I mean, granted, we haven't seen like greatness in the catching position since Joe Mauer won MVP and then sucked.
Well, the prolonged career of Yadier Molina is nothing to scoff at.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think of Yadi. You're right.
And, well, you're witnessing one of the great offensive catchers ever in Buster Posey.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. Maybe I'll rescind my statement. Or we should say in the AL. In the NL, then you got some guys.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you
just looking at
Yeah, you can have that one.
Yeah, there. Yeah, see, there it is. I mean, I guess. See, Corey Dickerson, yeah, George Springer. I kind of want to give it to the AL. I mean, this looks like a pretty damn good team.
I'll be taking the NL. I think their pitching's better, and I think their offense is better.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, the AL pitching, Keuchel's still injured, right?
I believe so. McCullers is back, but Keuchel's still out.
So that's a big thing. But yeah, like you look, the AL pitching actually is very lackluster. But I do just like, I don't know, I like the AL lineup overall. But I mean, yeah, Arenado, Posey, Harper, Charlie Blackmon.
I just think the NL is deeper from top to bottom. I think their bullpen is scary. Their starting rotation's nightmarish.
I mean, you have Kenley Jansen, Greg Holloway.
The reserve list for the NL includes the 2 best OBP first basemen in the league in Goldschmidt and Votto.
Yep.
Granted, it includes DJ LeMay, who's been absolute ugh. But Jake Lambsman, like he's second in the league in RBIs. Cody Bellinger's on the bench. Corey Seager's on the bench.
Giancarlo's on the bench.
Michael Conforto's on the bench. Giancarlo's on the bench. Like it's like a second All-Star team on the bench here. I don't feel the same about the AL.
Okay, you know what? Damn, I don't like going back on my word. I'm gonna stick with the AL, but goddamn, you're making some very, very good points.
Like, granted, the AL bench includes Mookie Betts, but Michael Brantley is injured. Avisail Garcia hasn't been good in a month. Lindor can't hit for average anymore. Jonathan Scope doesn't hit for average ever. Starlin Castro has actually been pretty decent. I'll give him that one. Yonder Alonso's having a career revival season, but there's not much. They're solid.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the NL.
That's fair. And also Mookie's not even on the bench.
Just look at the lineup of pitchers you're going to have to face at one point or another. Greinke.
So you got Scherzer.
Kershaw / Alex Wood. Carlos
Robbie
Martinez, Robbie Ray, Max
Strasburg,
Scherzer,
Jensen,
Steven
Holland,
Strasburg.
Davis. Yikes.
Yeah, and when that's done, you get Greg Holland, Kenley Jansen.
Yep. That's a fun time. You love to I know a lot of guys who love facing those guys. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go back NL. You're right. I didn't take a close enough look at this.
Yeah, I'm taking the NL. I think this is going to be not that close, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair. I can
Which is
respect
interesting because the AL dominated this for a long time.
Yeah, remember the AL won like 15 years in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's the birth of the NL dominance in the majors. So let's see any last All-Star game things. MVP.
Do you want to pick your game MVP and then we'll slide over to the Celtics?
Yeah, sure. We went way over time on the MLB, but
It's fine. We'll figure it out.
It's more than fine.
Hit Hayward and get out of here.
Let's see. I feel like Harper's too easy. I'm gonna go with my boy Nolan Arenado. I think he comes in and has one hell of a game.
All right, I will take Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay. Oh, the reserve. I like that.
Yep.
Very interesting. Okay. Yep. So Arenado and Goldschmidt, and then next week we can go over all of our predictions and see who won.
All right. So
perfect.
Sliding along here, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna talk some NBA, and that sound in the background is Celtics fans cheering behind their Lord and Savior, Mr. Danny Ainge, going out, finally making a move. It's another asset. We haven't cleared any cap yet, but the Celtics are getting Gordon Hayward.
Yep. It's a good day. It's a good day. And after what was one of the more confusing days ever.
It really was.
So you go Tuesday, July 4th, 2:30. Chris Haynes from ESPN goes Gordon Hayward to the Celtics. And then all of a sudden, all the accounts, not like these people celebrating or like the fan accounts like CSN, ESPN, all these accounts like, Hayward to the Celtics. 5 minutes later, Woj bomb. Nope. No. He hasn't made a decision. We have to wait till about 7:30. It finally comes out in his Players Tribune article, what we already kind of knew was going to happen.
Right.
But I can only imagine the stress that surrounded the Twitter world and the real world was crazy. I can only imagine his life. He's probably getting blown up constantly. Rudy Gobert is probably threatening him with some form of castration if he leaves. And right.
Wild accusation.
Yeah, wild. I don't like Rudy Gobert. I can have a rant about Rudy Gobert and his stupid Instagram video from the other day. But probably from all his Jazz teammates, from maybe some Celtics players that he knows, probably Isaiah, from his coaches, from family. His phone's getting blown up constantly, and he's just sitting there like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Well, see, so I will not take credit for this comment. I saw it on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Someone was like, Gordon Hayward must be the best deadline writer ever because he banged out a 2,000-word piece in 8 hours. Like, there's no way that he didn't know he was going to the Celtics when that piece came out. No way.
It's funny because I didn't put that into words myself, but I thought the same thing when I opened it up, and I was like, I didn't even really read it at first. I was just kind of scrolling through, just being like, say Celtics, say Celtics, Celtics, Celtics. Well, I mean, also when you see a title that says "Thank you, Utah," you kind of have to figure. But yeah, and all of a sudden I saw, I'm like, okay, and we're good. But I was like, I've been scrolling through this for a solid like 5 seconds. Like, this is not a short piece. So I mean, yeah. I don't know. Maybe he just made his decision, just threw that whole thing together in 5 minutes. Who knows? Maybe he had both 3 written: Heat, Jazz, and Celtics like last week.
Yeah. So now we'll transition to what the Celtics are actually getting in Gordon Hayward. Yeah. So last year, Utah Jazz, he's 26, 73 games, 22 points per game, about a 40-ish% free throw shooter, 50% from 2, 84% free throw shooter.
Mm-hmm. 3-point. You said 3-point at first, not free, or free throw at first, not 3-point.
I was gonna say that sounded weird coming off the tongue.
40% free throw shooter. Wait, what? Do we get Shaq?
Yeah, about 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists.
Yep.
Plus size perimeter defender, can match up with pretty much anyone 2 through 4. Yeah, I mean, guys coming into his own offensively, and he's only going to grow. So
yeah, that's the one thing that's great is I feel like with Horford, we got him in his prime, which he's not going to improve anymore, in my opinion. Hayward, we're getting him at the beginning of his prime. So I think he's gonna come out and surprise a lot of people this year. Will Isaiah drop 30 this year? Probably not. Hayward, I still think might be able to get 22 to 25. But what he gives us, and if Jason Tatum can continue shooting the way he has in, again, 2 summer league games, 40 minutes in total probably,
Yeah.
If we can start developing a perimeter offense with basically going the way the league's been going, this team's dangerous. And I don't know if this is a good enough team to beat the Cavs. We could get, I don't know, even with Paul George, there'd still be a debate if we were good enough to beat the Cavs. But yeah, it's a step in the right direction. Unfortunately, it caused a whole bunch of problems with cap space and stuff like that.
It did. Well, so the problem was the cap was projected to come in at about 107.
Yep.
And then the Warriors and Cavs just ran train through the league and knocked off like 15 to 20 potential playoff games.
Yep.
And dropped everyone's cap by about $8 million. So even when they're winning more.
Yeah. And it's funny, I saw this tweet, and again, I could have spent the last 4 years of college taking only classes on the NBA salary cap, like 100s, 200s, 300s, 400s. I could go to try to get a master's and a PhD. I will never understand it. But it's like, I saw this funny tweet where it's just like, so how is it that Golden State just threw out like $70 million cash, plus they already have Draymond in an $18 million deal? When you look at the Celtics, and it is Al Horford 24, and then everything's below $8 million. And I'm just like, how in God's name does this work? It must be something with longevity of players and not signing free agents. I just don't understand.
It's that, and then plus you have teams that are willing to spend over the cap and take the luxury tax. Teams that aren't. I mean, the Golden State's funny now because they're willing to just take less money. Like if you look at Durant's deal, Steph Curry's going to make nearly all of that money that Durant's going to have his entire contract in 1 year.
Yep. And I got to say, people, and you can even check my Twitter from last year. I wasn't bashing Durant. I said I'll always root for him. And I'm very happy he got the ring. And it made me respect him a little bit more, taking a little extra money so they could keep Iguodala as well. I think that was great. Plus, they got to pick up Swaggy P, too.
Well, Swaggy P and, big man whose name I'm forgetting.
Oh, they did get someone else. You're right. Let me look it up.
Yes, I just cannot think of who it is off the top of my head. But yeah, like it feels like a Brady move. It's a keeping the core together kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go down to roster and hope I can.
Well, plus Durant faced so much criticism last year with the can't beat him, join him.
Yep.
He's an evil villain. He left Oklahoma City to die. And now he's this feel-good character that's probably going to be the next NBA MVP. It's
really funny, though, when you look at the way the media, and not just the media, public opinion shifts so quickly. I mean, you had Omri Caspi. Is he the one you were thinking of who signed with them?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Omri Caspi signed for, I think, maybe like a duffel bag full of like potato chips, a roll of like $1 bills, and a roll of quarters.
No, that was Swaggy P's $5 million contract. It's funny the 5 is low now.
Yeah, that's frightening. Like Kelly Olynyk, congrats to Kelly as well, just signed a $12+ million a year deal.
Yeah, goodbye, Kelly. Enjoy being off our cap. You awkward stretch 4.5.
We will never forget that time where you rained threes on the Washington Wizards in the 2017 playoffs.
What does Kelly do for you? Kelly cannot guard anyone. Literally anyone. You can't put him on a 3 because he's awkward and lanky and will just get dribbled by. You can't put him on a 4 because he can't body anyone. You can't put him on a 5 because he's too skinny.
Yep. What you need from him is 3-point shooting and the occasional slightly athletic play where he might dunk from halfway to the free throw line over a guy.
That's fine. But he has no position on the other end of the floor.
Nope. No, he can't rebound because he's not strong enough. He's not quick. He can't defend.
He's a smaller, shorter, older version of Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, basically.
Except Markkanen's a better shooter and might actually grow into something. We know what Kelly Olynyk is.
Yep. And Kelly's an acceptable big man in this NBA.
Yeah, but even in this NBA, I'm not sure he has a fit.
No,
I'm sure he's going to be fine in Miami because they're just going to run all the time and like he won't have to play that much defense. But
yep, that would be great.
Meh. And plus, Miami's good though because they have a legitimate lockdown defender in Hassan Whiteside. Like Whiteside's going to be their paint patroller, and Kelly can just roll on whoever.
That's true. Olynyk might fit well into that system because he can just chill and shoot threes all day long. Let Whiteside do his thing down low.
Yeah, the Celtics didn't quite have that because Horford's like he's a fine defender and he's got good hands, but he's not a rim protector by any means. He's not Roy Hibbert.
No, exactly. So yeah, good for Kelly. But yeah, so clearing cap space though and stuff like that. the big rumors been possible sign and trade, send Jay Crowder over to Utah, get Gordon Hayward. I think this works. And of course, as one of Jay Crowder's biggest fans, I'm looking at his jersey right now. I like this move because, well, first of all, it softens the blow. I like Gordon. He seems like a good guy. You never like to see anyone be vilified while leaving a city. It's not that bad for him. People are like, okay, we get something in return. It's kind of like the worst trade ever.
Well, I saw a lot of Utah fans going into tonight's summer league game between the Jazz and Celtics that changed the Hayward to Coward on their jerseys.
Funny. Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense because the Jazz with Hayward obviously are huge contenders to win a title, and they can easily beat everyone in the West, right? Yeah, go fuck yourselves. But so
have you heard of Golden State, Tam?
Yep. Have you heard of the Spurs? Hell, even OKC now is scary.
I was gonna say OKC's probably a top 4 seed out west right now. Have you heard of the new fully loaded Rockets?
Yeah, the Rockets got Chris Paul, James Harden. Did they just get someone else too?
Not
no, they lost everyone, but still, James Harden, Chris Paul, Clint Capella. I don't hate that. Capella's going to become good. I'm calling it. Capella's going to be sick.
And actually, to be honest, kind of like what the Thunder are doing right now. I know George is on a rental, but if you look at that core 5, it's Westbrook, it's Enes Kanter.
Yep.
It's
Steven.
Sorry, Kanter's the 6th man. It's Steven Adams.
Yep.
Westbrook, Roberson, and Pat.
That's not terrible. It's not terrible at all.
That's a top 4 seed out west. That 5 is healthy with Enes Kanter off the bench and whoever they get to play shooting guard. Do they still have Jeremy Lamb?
I think Roberson would technically be shooting guard, and then you put George at the 3.
Well, no, you need somebody off the bench. Who's your bench guard?
Your bench guard. Yeah, I think Jay Lim might still. Jay Lim's been on every team in the league at this point.
Yeah.
That's a good team, and Paul George actually adds like a good shooting element because Russ is ridiculous. He's not a great shooter. Robertson's he's not a bad shooter, but he's not a great shooter.
Mm-hmm.
They have a bunch of bigs. George is going to add some knockdown shooting for them. That's going to be a fun team to watch. That's a team that honestly, like, literally rivals the Cavs. If they're in the East, they could be a number 1 seed.
Definitely in terms of watchability. I mean,
yeah.
I don't own League Pass, but if I own League Pass, I would watch them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But yeah,
I got 2 Celtics comments for you, if you don't mind me interrupting. All right, 2 potential trade targets I've heard in the wake of this. 1, Marc Gasol.
Mm-hmm.
2, I heard the Celtics and Knicks were in discussions Marcus Smart for Willy Hernangomez.
Interesting. I saw that Smart to the Knicks was a thing. So either way, we're getting a Spaniard out of this. So I'm all for it.
A Spaniard big man.
Yeah, a Spaniard big man. So I think this is interesting because this is the Celtics, like we've been talking, are in one of the most rare situations ever where we are ready to win in 5-10 years or this year. So it's a question of, will Danny want to build to the future and get Hernangomez? Or is it like, all right, let's get this shit now. Let's get Marc Gasol. Let's trade Marcus Smart and the Brooklyn pick and get Gasol and have a big 4.
Well, this is the thing. If you're the Celtics, are you playing for right now and directly challenging LeBron? Or are you waiting for LeBron to leave next summer and playing for 2019?
I think if we're talking right now, so of everyone who's on the roster next summer, free agent Isaiah is a free agent, but he's getting paid.
He's the only one that I can think of.
I think Avery's a free agent too.
He's expendable though, and would not be surprised if he leaves in February.
Yeah. I could see Avery being like send him somewhere as a rental or something like that. Try to get some assets for. I feel disgusting saying this, Danny's stockpile, as we've heard so many times.
Get you a man that looks at you like Danny looks at those assets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn, I know. I can only dream. But yeah, so I mean, if you're looking at this lineup, you have Brown on contract for 3 more years, Tatum for 4. Tatum is going to be an all-star within 5 years. He is going to be so goddamn good. And I'm excited to see that. I kind of hope he doesn't hit a low ceiling, but from what I've seen, he's going to be great. So we have those 2 for a while. Let's see who we got after that. Horford's on contract for another 3. You re-sign Isaiah. You still have Hayward then for another 3 after that. Actually, I'm doing the math right. Yeah, so you have a bunch of guys though on contract for a long time, basically.
Yeah, because 4 with a player option, I think.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So you have a lot of guys on contract. You re-sign Isaiah as still the star of this team. Yeah, I think you got to build for 2019. Again, still no guarantees that LeBron leaves for the Lakers or the Clippers or where the hell everyone expecting him to go.
It does kind of feel like it, though.
It does. Well, because like they fired Dan Griffin. Dan Gilbert's just out of his mind. That it's simple as that. So also, is he the CEO of Quicken?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm gonna ramble and look that up quickly.
Sure.
But like I don't know, it just doesn't seem he hasn't been out recruiting and doing stuff like that. Yes, he's the founder of Quicken Loans. Okay, that's why he's
Hence
so
why
rich.
they're playing Quicken Loans Arena.
Yep, and the Q, it all makes sense. But LeBron wasn't out recruiting guys this year. Dan Gilbert's going off the rails, kind of doing whatever the hell he wants as an owner now. I don't know. They just lost the title, so you got to be disillusioned by that.
Well, and the thing with the Cavs too, like if you know LeBron is leaving, they want Kevin Love out of town. Then, like they're prepared to build around Kyrie.
Which Kyrie's only 25. He's not even in his prime. We have yet to see prime Kyrie Irving, which makes me very excited.
The rest of the league should be frightened because that man is one of the best offensive point guards ever at this rate.
Not like in the league ever. Like, all time. And I think that's fine. A very interesting thing, it was in Bill Simmons' podcast the other day. When LeBron leaves Cleveland, they were talking about small market teams.
Yeah.
Does Cleveland go back to being a small market team when LeBron leaves?
Is Kyrie enough of a draw?
Kyrie's enough of a draw when you have LeBron James with him. Because he's then considered like the sidekick, like, oh, dude, look how underrated this kid is. Then if he's the focal point, he's not quite as much.
It's like getting people to try and come play with Russ in Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Russ is not LeBron. There's only been 2 players in the last 20 years or post Jordan who can draw like that to make granted, one of these doesn't count because the city was massive. Kobe. LA's already massive, so that doesn't matter. And LeBron. Those are the only 2 players. One could argue Carmelo made Denver a bigger team, but at that, we could have a discussion on that.
Which he then forcibly removed himself from.
Yep, to go to the dumpster fire known as the New York Knicks.
Well, he made them a dumpster fire.
He did. Actually, that's true. And then they hired Phil Jackson, and then just... Well, I know Jackson got the Porzingis, so we're going to give him one. He won.
We're going to give him one and take away about 20.
Yes, because he's a senile old man, which is good. Good. I'm happy for him. But yeah, so we've gotten way off the rails, so I'm trying to remember where we were.
I think we hit all of our NBA points we were trying to get to.
I think we did. So we'll just do the last Celtics point, and then we'll get into stoppage time. So if we're going to make a trade, then or let's not even say that. Do you foresee another deal happening? If yes, is it a blockbuster deal, or is it smart for Hernan Gomez, something along those lines?
I think it's small.
Yeah.
Because it feels to me that Danny's not going for this year. Danny's going to be comfortable with the 2nd or 3rd seed in the East.
And we'll
inevitably a finals loss in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
And we're just going to reboot next year.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that because
they're going to treat this as a let everything gel, let Jalen and Jason get into it.
Yep.
See what you've got, and let's get going next year.
Yeah. Speaking of small moves, too, I've heard Jamal Crawford could be a guy the Celtics target and who he wants to go to.
He just got traded.
Exactly. So in the event of a buyout, it's either Lakers or the Celtics. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it'd be great off the bench. Nice veteran kickstarter there, 6th man of the last decade.
Yeah, but where the Celtics are right now, it's funny because the NBA minus the Cavs and the Warriors are in limbo. This is kind of just waiting for the clock to run out. A bunch of guys are going to go for the rest of their career without rings, and it's too bad. But we're just chilling. Let's have some fun Celtics basketball throughout the season, do some exciting things, get to the Eastern Conference Finals, get our hopes up, and then watch us lose by 48 to the Cavs in Game 2. But still, it'll be fun. So anyway, we've reached the 90th minute. The line referee is holding up that giant clock. We got about 5 minutes of stoppage time, Matt, for some quick little banter over what's going on in the world of football. And we're going to have to when we get close to the start of the Premier League season, start of the NBA season, start of the NFL season, we might just have to do 3 in 1 week of just complete overhauls, like all the soccer made leagues, all their previews, NFL preview, NBA preview. Yeah, why the hell not?
Asking me to put in a lot of research, Dan.
Yes. There'll be some downtime in the office, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, starting with, I believe it's Sunday, the Confederations Cup final, saw Germany defeating Chile 1-0 in what was overall a boring game up until about the 60th minute. So it basically, the German goal came from, and I can't remember his name right now, but the German goal,
Lars Stindl.
Oh, it was Stindl, yes, but who was the defender who messed it up?
Oh, yeah, because it was an own, right?
Exactly. So I just need to look at like a roster or something. But basically what happened was it was a poor touch, went right to Stindl's feet. Claudio Bravo had absolutely no chance. Just, it was one of those, like, you see it happen and you know that the goal is is inevitable. So that's a shame. Besides that, Chile towards the end made a whole bunch of runs, a whole bunch of very, very close chances, including an Alexis Sanchez free kick in the 93rd minute, like 13 seconds before stoppage time ended, which was so close. And there was a great save by Ter Stegen on the German side. But my main thing behind this was we saw the Germany B team beat the Chile A team. Chile, who is a top 5 ranked in the world side, with guys like Alexis Sanchez and Arturo Vidal and Gary Medel and Claudio Bravo, who you don't think's a world-class keeper, but for Chile, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and they just got beat by, like you said, the second-tier team for what is probably a top 2 side in the world.
I think Argentina might still be number 1, Germany's 2, but that Germany might be number 1 as well, which is,
I mean, it speaks to
terrifying.
the impressive depth of the side.
Yep. Yeah, well, they were I was seeing something on ESPN. I can't put it on the top of my head, but it goes down the list. So you have the Germany starting 11, then the Germany B starting 11, then the Germany C starting 11, because it goes like you have Manuel Neuer, and then you have Ter Stegen, who I can't remember his first name. So starting goalkeeper for Bayern, starting goalkeeper for Barcelona. And I want to say Trapp from PSG was their third, something like that. Yeah, so from 3 of the top 10 clubs in the world, they all have goalkeepers who stay there. So Germany is so unbelievably deep that it's ridiculous. And I feel bad for Alexis and Vidal because those are 2 of my favorite players, but at the same time, they've won 2 Copa Americas in 2 years. You know, the Confed Cup would have just been icing on the cake. Fun fact, though, they had yet to score in their 3 straight major cup titles or title games. They have yet to score a goal. They won the 2 Copa Americas in 0-0 draws into PKs. Very interesting fact.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Chilean front man, does Alexis move from Arsenal as a result of a particular other move that came about today?
Yes. So that's a good question. So Lacazette signs, or is it Lacazette or Lacazette? I think it's Lacazette.
Lacazette.
Yep. Lacazette signs with Arsenal. This is now official, bolstering that attack and giving them a much better goal-scoring striker than Olivier Giroud. With Alexis, I think in the end he's going to stay. It's funny because there's Arsenal fans must be freaking out because Mesut Ozil is apparently another guy who could return to Germany and play with Bayern. I think Alexis stays because I just can't see, because all of the rumors have him going to a Premier League side like a Manchester City. I've even seen Chelsea.
He's coming. He's coming along.
Do you have some good confidence in that? Because of good faith?
I do. I think City's next 2 signings are Kyle Walker and Alexis Sanchez, especially because City is rumored to be giving up Kelechi Iheanacho.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've got a 25 million bid on him from, I believe it's Leicester.
Oh, okay. Well, hey.
So there's some room up top there, Alexis.
Interesting. I think that would be a great move for Alexis. Getting to play up top with Sergio Aguero and Raheem Sterling would be a very, very fun front 3.
Trio. Well, especially there's nobody on left wing right now because Nolito left.
Oh yeah, that's true. Did you see the funny thing that Nolito said? They asked him about his time in Manchester, or the city, not just like the team, and he's like, "Yeah, my daughter's completely pale now from the lack of sun for the past year."
You know, he's probably not wrong.
No, I'm like, Nolito, get the hell back to wherever. Where did he come from? He came from not
Sevilla,
Celta Vigo. Was it Celta Vigo or my? Yeah, it was. It was.
something like that.
Yeah, because I was thinking
Yeah, yeah,
Negredo, but he could,
yeah. So like Premier League's just been bouncing strikers around. So it's rumored that Lukaku is now moving to Manchester United, which would
yep,
get off of their bid for your boy Alvaro Morata.
which I'm okay with. I kind of would believe. I. It's funny. I would like a little bit more of a Premier League, like I guess, depth in the table rather than if Real loses Morata, who cares? We get $100 million to go sign Kylian Mbappe. I'm fine with it. But if Everton loses Lukaku, do you know the second? I forget his name. The second highest Lukaku had like 30 goals for Everton. The second highest goal scorer on the team had 5. So you just drop. And the other transfer rumor for them as well is Wayne Rooney. So if they were to get Rooney, he would be the focal point
Yeah,
as the top goal scorer in arguably the greatest soccer club in history, which that's not true. That's
like
Real Madrid.
I understand that United is deep, but Rooney hasn't made a reasonable contribution in about a year and a half.
Nope. I think the move makes sense sending Rooney to Everton. He goes back to his roots because he started there.
You get some money.
Yeah. I think it'd be about 25 million pounds. Like it's for Everton, it's not that expensive. Rooney gets to go home and he gets to return to Old Trafford to just applause like you would never believe.
Yeah, plus it gets rid of the headache of having to figure out what to do with Wayne Rooney on a weekly basis.
Because it's tough. And I mean, obviously, in recent Boston sports, we haven't seen this because David Ortiz was ridiculous. Tom Brady's unbelievable. But imagine Tom Brady starts sucking, Jimmy Garoppolo starting, and then everyone in the city's a little.
You're going to see it with Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah.
Boston's sweetheart. It's going to happen pretty soon. The cliff is upcoming.
Yeah, I think after next season, I think he's going to start to drop off. But it's tough with Manchester United because they are so deep and they have this maybe their greatest player of all time. Some people would make that argument. I'm sure there's some dude from the 40s who's probably considered much better, but I just don't know his name. But I think Rooney to Everton makes perfect sense. I'd like to see that. Lukaku to Man U. That Manchester United team is very scary.
Well, they're missing a true striker, so like the move makes absolute sense.
Yeah, which I still don't quite understand why they just let Ibra go.
Older, injury concerns.
Yep.
I don't think was a great fit for what they were trying to do. He's very physical. Lukaku is as well, but I think he's better with the ball at his feet than Ibra was.
Yep, which is more than fair. But so now my question to you though is, so we'll go over the transfer market quickly. So Manchester City got Ederson and who else? I'm trying to remember who's the other big signing.
We have Mendy at center back.
And possibly Dani
Alves.
Yeah, possibly. That's still not confirmed. Tottenham has been fairly quiet. They haven't done much. Man U's looking to bolster with Morata or Lukaku, someone up at striker. The Griezmann stuff's gone now. Who else are we talking about?
Well, Chelsea lost Diego Costa, right?
I don't think they have yet. I know there's been rumors.
Well, there's rumors he's going to go back to Atletico, right?
Yeah, there has been, but there's been nothing specific yet. I'll double check.
They haven't really been active in the acquisition game yet.
No. Oh, interesting, actually. So Diego Costa has said goodbye to Chelsea teammates. So Costa could be gone. So then that just completely messes up my question because I was going to say, even with all the moves, with Liverpool, with Salah, all the Man City moves, all the possible Man U moves, Arsenal's great moves, getting Lacazette, possibly losing Sanchez. Do these moves put these other teams in position to win the Premier League, or is Chelsea just that good where they'll be able to run away with it another year?
I mean, you have to believe that they're going to be at least in contention. Chelsea had an all-time season last year. I mean, it's very unlikely they're going to put up as many points as they did last year.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible they're going to run back to back where they hit over 90 points, right?
I think they did. I can double check that.
Yeah, I want to say they finished the year at 93, maybe, which is insane.
Yep.
Like on a 38-game season, that's like 2.5 points per match.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. And you would be exactly correct with 93. And like you look at like Tottenham, they put up 86. That's 9 out of 10 times good enough to win the Prem.
Yeah.
Man City, Liverpool, obviously both 78 and 76. I think we'll have our full-on Premier League just every debacle one time when like early August when that starts coming up. But this top six, I'm looking at all of them, and I think Chelsea's going to remain towards the top. But the 5 after that, it could be Liverpool in 6, it could be Man City in 6. It just these teams just seem too good right now.
It's gonna be a bloodbath. I don't think there's much coming up from below, but that 6 is going to be tight.
If Everton loses Lukaku,
they have no goal scorer.
No, they legitimately don't. I could see maybe. No, I couldn't. There's no other team on this that I could see. I mean, because you'd have whatchamacallit, Newcastle's coming up, Brighton Hove Albion, and not Sheffield Wednesday, but another one. Newcastle's going to be they're coming up and they're staying because they've got a ton of money. So it's just they just need to get back up, even after the loss of Chuck Diallo, which was a shame. They'll be fine. So they'll stay up, but there's no other teams minus the mini league. And then of course in all the other leagues, we could talk transfers. If Costa goes back to Atleti, does Atleti stand a chance against Los Blancos or FC Barcelona? That's an easy one.
No.
Even losing Morata, they have Benzema, they have Cristiano. They'll be fine. I just look forward every year for the Madrid-Barcelona matchup because it's so exciting between those two teams always. And not at all against, as much as I love Deportivo La Coruña.
Not that much. You don't want to watch them.
It's fun watching Madrid just pwn them and just get like 5-6 goals, which is why I watch Liverpool for the league play because obviously they don't have European competition, and then Madrid only for Champions League. That's all that matters to me. So, yeah. But I think that just about does it for stoppage time. The whistle has blown, and at the same time, that does it for the Common Room collab. So we're going to call it a week. So remember, though, before you finish listening to this or right after, follow us on Twitter at Common Room Pod. Hit up our blog spot, blogger.com/Common Room Collab. We have blog posts pretty much every 1 or 2 days, basically whenever anything of note happens. All about
a little bit for July 4th, but we'll get back on it.
Yeah, we'll get better. We've been tired. We have Sunday. There's plenty of time to do stuff. And yeah, hit us both on Twitter at MattRC25 at Danderson104. So I'll do it for this week. We'll be back next Wednesday to talk about probably a lot of Red Sox. It seems like the Celtics are winding down and hopefully some fun transfer rumors. And you know what? We didn't talk about this tonight. Tom Brady wrote a book. Maybe we'll talk about that.
#1 book on Amazon.
Yep. Ordering that right now. Gonna get the recipe to guacamole ice cream. Or avocado ice cream. Ugh, yuck. But on that note, on that lovely note, thanks you guys for listening this week. I'm Dan Anderson alongside
Matt Orsi.
And everyone have an excellent week. We'll see you next Wednesday night.